love to tell the story. This theme comes from Joel chapter 3, verse 1. Tell your children of it, and let your children tell their children and their children to another generation. Tell the story of Jesus and his love. A few days ago, I heard a person make this comment. I want to know that I'm connected and part of something bigger than myself, something that goes beyond my inner circle of family and friends. As Christians, as congregation, as synod, Jesus calls us into a ministry partnership to spread his word and his love throughout the world. Whenever we work together to do this, we make a tremendous difference in this world and in the lives of God's beloved children. This is one of the truly wonderful things about being synod. We walk together in ministry, and we can do more together to make a difference in the world, sharing the love of Jesus than we ever imagined possible. We would love to tell the stories of ministry made possible through mission support dollars. Stories of life-changing work being done as we walk together in the South Carolina Synod with congregations, institutions of the church, and synodical partners. I can't wait for you to hear the story of Camp Hug from Pastor Emily Edenfield, assistant to the bishop, and from those who have been part of this ministry with Lutheran Church Youth in South Carolina for many years. These have been life-changing events for our folks in community. I know you're going to enjoy these stories.
Camp Hug is an acronym, HUGG, which stands for Helping Under God's Grace. Camp Hug is a love project of the Lutheran Church Youth that's been around since 1973. We work with special needs teenagers from the greater Lexington area, mostly Lexington and White Knoll high schools.
One of the great joys of getting to be here all week is to watch both our Lutheran Church Youth counselors and our campers grow over the course of the week. And then doing this year to year, I've gotten to see them mature since last year. And it's just a beautiful thing.
I wanted something for my high school kids to do that was age appropriate. You know, a lot of my kids would go to camp, but they'd go to camp with, 6, 7-year-olds. I think it's a great opportunity for regular ed students to be exposed to special needs students and realize that they're not a lot of difference.
Our campers who come in on Monday aren't sure of themselves. They're a little more withdrawn, they're a little more shy, and our counselors have to figure out what to do with that and how to build a relationship.
Camp Hug is truly a blessing to our family. It is just amazing that my 19-year-old daughter who has autism can come here and have a true camp experience with people who just want to love her and for who she is.
I learned about Camp Hug and became involved with Camp Hug when I was in high school. My daughter Riley decided after attending some youth events with some other staffers that she would like to apply to do Camp Hug this year. And so this was an opportunity for her to meet people with disabilities and spend time with people that might be different from her.
To me, camp means being able to make kids happy. All I want to do in life is make people happy, and I really, really, really get to do that here.
One of the ways I see God at Camp Hug is definitely just the way that everybody is able to love each other and care about each other.
Camp Hug and other LCY, Lutheran Church Youth programs, are funded out of the South Carolina Synod budget as well as some other sources. The underpinning, the support for this program and for others like it comes directly from that mission support, and we are so, so grateful to congregations for their partnership in this way and in the other ways that they come together with their youth and with us.
The ELCA has 131 missionary households serving, which includes 24 new missionaries who are serving over the last 2 years, and also includes 24 young adults in global mission. Young adults in global mission and our long-term missionaries are funded, at least in part, by mission support shared with the church-wide organization.
The South Carolina Synod's relationship with Japan, with Japan Evangelical Lutheran Church, spans 130 years when the first missionaries arrived in Yokohama in 1892. St. John's Charleston commissioned and ordained Reverend James A.B. Shira on November 22nd, 1891. Reverend Shira, along with Reverend R.B. Perry and Rohei Yamanochi, a Japanese co-worker, held the first Lutheran service in Saga, Japan on Easter Sunday, 1893. Most recently, ELCA missionary Reverend Hitoshi Adachi and his wife Satiko visited the South Carolina Synod and visited several churches that are involved with the Japan Evangelical Lutheran Church.
At first, God was preparing it for me to be involved in the relationship. And then I felt like it's very good relationship because right after I was sent to Japan, I was not sure which congregations would help support the ministry in Kumamoto. 2 congregations popped up to support ministry in Kumamoto without knowing. I didn't know those congregations at all, but the 2 congregations already started support in 2019. And then one more congregation came up. So that because of the relationship there already, so that's why those congregations started to support. The congregations in South Carolina Synod be ready to support Kumamoto even without knowing each other. God is Holy Spirit already working.
South Carolina congregations can support the our ministry with Japan by getting involved with mission support or congregation support, but most importantly with prayer support.
Holy Grounds Ministry is a ministry of inclusion and welcome at one of our churches in the upstate, Messiah Malden. I have enjoyed hearing about how their ministry touches the lives of parents who are waiting for their elementary school children, to men's groups that are studying the scriptures, and everyone in between. What an excellent idea and a wonderful way to do mission and ministry.
Holy Grounds Coffee House is about a year old. During the pandemic, we were doing a lot of ministry with community partners and neighbors, particularly children, and we wanted to find a way to continue our community outreach beyond a time when a lot of students were working from home or remotely, and we envisioned this as a place of community gathering.
Holy Grounds Coffee House, to me, it really means it's a place of community, and it's a place where people can gather and be with one another.
I think the coffee shop helps to promote information to the other members outside of the church community so that we know what's happening here at Messiah, and also helps us to learn ways that we can participate and help with some of those initiatives.
Well, between the coffee house in the area and the church, the Lutheran Church itself, it's my stability in life.
As you look around Holy Grounds, it's really kind of a vibrant palette. That was a bit of a push for some of the members of our congregation at first. But once people got over that initial, I'll call it a shock, folks have really embraced the space. The school year certainly is the busiest time for us. Folks are often in the parking lot when we pull in. We serve 5 or 6 high schools in this church, and this is a place where they can come together, you know, from their different contexts and you know, form a different kind of group.
I moved here about a year ago, and I got flyers in the mail about Holy Grounds and thought it would be a good way to connect with the community and be able to complete my work in a just a different atmosphere, because I've been working from home on this dissertation for quite some time and just thought it would be a great way to get to know folks in the area and do it in a Christ-centered environment.
One of the ways I see God at work in the coffee house is I see it working in other people who are maybe not even coffee drinkers, who gather and enjoy the fellowship.
We don't charge for anything here, but people provide donations to keep the ministry going. This coffee house has brought people together and helped build some different sorts of communities. So community has become a gift that's formed because of this coffee house.
An example of a life-giving partnership for those in recovery is Restoration Chapel. Restoration Chapel Greenwood is a synod-authorized worshiping community in partnership with Lutheran Services Carolinas.
Restoration Chapel is a ministry of the South Carolina Synod, but it's a unique ministry. We provide relational, emotional, and spiritual support for people in recovery.
Restoration Chapel has helped because it's helped us realize that we are loved by God. We have felt so judged by society and unloved, and that makes us so much harder to succeed in the world.
A number of them had been beaten up by the church, scripture thrown at them, names called. So they didn't have a good understanding.
When they finally finish the program, I want them to be comfortable in their own skin. It's hard to open up as an addict. You've done things that you're ashamed of. You've done things that you wish, had never happened, but you don't know how to open up.
I met Pastor Chris. I had probably not spoken to a pastor in 6 years at least. I immediately felt right at home. It's also helped me just open my mind and my heart to faith and to God again. So that's been a big difference in other programs that I've been in.
Having Restoration Chapel come in, it's more of a family feel.
This, just in the past few months, has become so ingrained in my life that I feel like I'll always be a part of this program.
We struggle in life, we get aggravated. Sometimes we lose that spiritual component, sometimes we get spiritually sick, and Restoration Chapel comes in and fixes that. I get to see smiles on their face, I get to see tears, I get to see aggravation, but we all have our feelings back, and that's something huge in our lives.
Recovery is a lifelong process. I'll never not be an addict, and I'm okay with that today. I've accepted that because recovery has changed my life.
We know we're not walking alone in this, that there are pastors and lay people all over the state in churches that we don't even know the names of, that are praying for us and sending mission support help for us and reaching out to us. And so to have the support of the Synod means everything.
Thank you for your partnership in mission and for all the other stories you are telling and living through your local congregation. We are so thankful for you and blessed to walk together in this ministry as we tell the old story of Jesus and his love. If your congregation is giving 10% or more of regular giving by members to mission support, thank you. If not, we invite your congregation to continue to move toward 10% of regular giving by members or add 10% to last year's amount given to mission support. Again, we want to say thank you for all of your support and for walking together with us as the South Carolina Synod.